Sometimes the crimes you fear the most are not the most shocking ones. And the truth is, whether you're a hardened military veteran or a civilian, having your possessions stolen is a big deal.
It's 06:30 hours. I'm en route to an operational briefing with the police in Cheshire about a gang of suspected keyless car thieves.
And myself and the Cheshire Force are going to pay them a rapid visit this morning on a simultaneous strike, just like we used to back in the day in the SAS. Early morning, early rise. But these people are going to get a surprise, so stand by.
The latest figures from the DVLA show a car is stolen every 8 minutes across the UK. And keyless car theft is the main culprit. It's high-tech, but it's simple. Electronic devices trick the car into thinking its own key fob is close by. Criminals use different systems, but the outcome is the same. Doors open, ignition on, suspect escapes.
Morning.
Right, morning everyone. Thanks for coming. We've had approximately 40 plus Ford Cougar and Ford Focus models stolen. The offenders are believed to be using devices such as code grabbers and OBD devices in order to unlock the vehicles they select and clone the keyless stop-start functionality of them. Within a minute, they can have this vehicle cloned and be away. They'll make a spare key in the process of it all, and effectively it renders the genuine key useless. So our intention today is to execute 5 PACE warrants, simultaneous searches that take place at each address, looking to recover items used in connection with the keyless thefts. There's no questions. We'll leave it there, get kitted up and get ready to get out.
Tim has been working on this operation since its conception, with more than 40 cars suspected to be stolen by this gang. He's an expert on their MO.
What are they doing with these cars?
So these cars, you can walk up and steal them within minutes. They've got technology in these devices, you can walk up, you can unlock it, you can get in the car and it can be gone.
How have you built up your intel for today's strike?
There's been, the intelligence picture around it has been quite hard to develop. We've had a bit of an idea for a while of who's been up to it, but it's actually gathering evidence. So we've managed to recover a couple of stolen vehicles. From the forensic strategy that's followed that, we've managed to identify certain individuals.
Fingerprints and all that sort of stuff?
Fingerprints, DNA inside the car. There's a big intel picture around what's actually happened to the cars. We don't know where they're going just yet. We suspect they're going to chop shops and being cut up, and the parts are sold on the black market. But we're hoping to fill them gaps today.
Chop shops, slang for the garage where the stolen cars are stripped. Finding evidence there is key to prove the case against the gang. It's the one unknown in this operation. 4 months of planning. It all comes down to this.
All the teams have been briefed now, got their task, split into different targets or different houses they're going to go and visit, and it'll be a simultaneous strike under Tim's command, so stand by.
5 teams are moving into position. The man we're after is also wanted for suspected arson and conspiracy to supply drugs.
What are you expecting, Brian? Get cocky and try and play the game or run?
He's not running.
Right.
But he's quite manipulative.
Got you.
So,
You'll have plenty to say.
yeah.
Intel on this suspect has painted an unusual picture. He's been staying in an hotel, which affects the technique the team will use today.
There will be a number of different methods of entry. Some will be more aggressive because it's needed to be, and the ones where there'll be a soft approach, as we would call it back in the day. We're going to go on a suspect that is in a public place, so that will require a covert move to the entry point and then a soft opening. He's going to be in for a pretty rude awakening. He was probably expecting up to get up at 10 o'clock, go and collect himself a car. Swift move to the entry point.
We scale the perimeter, quick and quiet.
He's on target now.
I've never been given a key to where a suspect is bedding down before. But the police still can't get in. The suspect has bolted the door from the inside.
I moved. Away, open the
And
door.
now he's awake.
Open the door.
He's a difficult customer.
Okay, I'm out the way. Open the door. I'm back. I'm out the way.
He's stalling. The team have to think on their feet. Evidence needs to be preserved. They have to get inside fast.
Open the door now! Police, the door's moving! Open it now! Door's getting smashed! Open it! Get the ram! Get the ram! 5 seconds going in! Police! I'm behind your back! No! Get your back now! I'm getting your back! One cup on.
There was enough showing.
Right, you have multiple opportunities to open the door.
You're under arrest on suspicion of arson, reckless to endanger life, conspiracy to supply Class A and Class B drugs, and conspiracy to steal motor vehicles.
The suspect is cuffed. A situation that could have escalated has been swiftly shut down with tactics I'm used to using in the SAS.
So basically what you had there was a classic case of soft entry. He was given the opportunity to answer the door, started to play games. They gave him a warning, which is obviously taking into consideration everybody else around him. And then they had to do what they had to do, force entry, detain him under force, and he's now handcuffed and being ready to be taken away. So, job done.
Phase 1 of this operation complete.
Happy with that though?
Yeah, more than happy. Bit of trouble getting in.
What do you reckon he was trying to do to delay that entry there?
We don't know. He could have been trying to hide things. When we did come in, there was a phone on
Right.
at the moment, so we'd rang somebody, so whether it was to ring somebody and alert some
Warn
of the
them.
offenders, and that's the importance of trying to get into an address as quick as we can. Unfortunately, we have to weigh it up in situations like this. It's a hotel door. Are we going to cause thousands of pounds worth of
Yeah,
damage
I
to
know.
a door, or do we try the knock on first? Unfortunately, he'd locked the door behind.
Yeah.
What he was doing inside, we don't know. We're never going to know. Unless, I don't think he's going to tell us either. But I think it's just a case of we got in there rapid as we can.
He had an opportunity to open the door immediately, didn't want to do it. You give him plenty of warning and then basically forced entry as you needed to. So it's minimum force at the right time.
A detailed search will now begin. The area is small, a bedroom and a bathroom. But as I know from experience, there are still plenty of places to stash evidence.
The search team will go through every little bit of equipment, starting with the obvious things, the phones, any computer stuff that might be in there, any paperwork, and looking for the obvious thing, and then any little nook and cranny. The search goes deep, nothing will be left unturned.
The team is still carrying out a fingertip search of the suspect's hotel room.
What specifically right now, Tim, are you looking for? Or is it just a general search and whatever turns up?
We're looking for specific items, such as the devices that he may have used to commit the thefts, but also there's been some CCTV footage. Unfortunately, the quality's not that great, but it does show clothing that's worn by the offender at the time. So we've got screenshots of that, and what we're actually doing is looking for clothing that matches that description.
Got you.
That's an example of some of your
The equipment.
items that we're looking for. It can look like,
Yeah, like key fobs.
yeah.
With any crime network, communication is key.
Now he's got a small sort of disposable phone over there, which is under the pillow, as well as his iPhone over here.
Yeah. Of these actual specific things?
Yeah, so from telecoms inquiries that we do throughout the investigation, we can identify what handset each SIM card's been in, and both handsets that I'm looking for are here, which is positive.
These mobile phones and SIM cards have already been linked to the suspected car thefts. Finding them here is a crucial piece of evidence. While my team are getting results, there have been 4 other coordinated strikes. The operation's aim is to take down the whole gang at once. Method of entry: reciprocating saws strong enough to cut through most barriers. No amount of deadlocks on this door will stop the team from getting in. The suspect is caught short.
You're having some boxer shorts.
Get him out to your van. Get him out to your van.
No, he's not got any boxes on. Let's take some boxes.
Modestly covered, he's arrested. And the search for evidence that may link him to the thefts can begin. In the garage,
That's now got a number plate on it, so we need to find a chassis number.
a quad bike. Not the gang's usual target, but the team think it could have been stolen.
So the quad bike's got no number plates on it. The ignition barrel is missing, and there's quite a lot of wires have been pulled out, and we can't find any VIN numbers on it currently, albeit it is caked in mud. But they'll get a stolen vehicle examiner to go over that and hopefully identify whether it is a stolen vehicle or not.
An in-depth search of the whole house will take time, but being meticulous is leading to results at my strike site.
Every little thing at the moment is adding up. A technical attack, which is identify the phones, the exact phones that they were looking for, and the clothing and various other items which have been seen on CCTV and now pinpointed to be the exact same. More evidence that links that person to that crime.
In Cheshire, the suspected car thief gang have all had their early morning wake-up calls.
How much more to do in here, Tim, do you think?
I think we've completed our searches and everything's getting bagged up, labelled up correctly before we move on. In relation to the addresses, it's been quite successful. We've had all our suspects arrested at each address, so the searches are finishing up at them addresses as well.
But there's one other crucial part of this network, the chop shop. Without it and a willing accomplice to do the handiwork, the suspects can't convert cars into cash. This is the final piece of the evidential jigsaw.
Back in the day of being in the regiment, I mean, you'd do a strike, you'd hit a target, going after a specific thing, and then that would lead to something else. In our case, it may lead to a bomb factory, a weapons hide. This is kind of similar to that, and that is what we're doing right now.
This was always the unknown element of today's operation. Finding evidence here could make or break the case against the suspects.
And here we are, arriving on scene.
Entry made, shutter sawn, result.
Unconventional entrance made, and bingo, look what we find. Stolen engine, 1, 2, probably about 50 or 60 tyres over there. Bits and pieces from family cars, you know, innocent families. Could have been a doctor, could be a nurse, could be a teacher. It doesn't matter. Stolen property, and it's all stacked up in here as evidence.
Andy is overseeing the operation here.
Hello. Hey Andy, how you doing, mate?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So what did you actually get here?
As you can see, there's stolen engine parts. There'll be front ends of vehicles, rear ends of vehicles. There's believed to be a stolen vehicle in the rear,
right,
as well as another vehicle that we need to check the engine number. Some of the engines are recently, is like 5 days old, that have been stolen. And there's a vehicle in there that potentially has been stolen very recently as well. So it's not an old investigation, it's very quick.
That's pretty speedy work there then.
Yeah.
The number of cars and spare parts stashed here shows the scale of this conspiracy. The vehicle still in one piece will be the easiest to ID.
Out of Pandora's box comes a stolen item, which, just looking inside, you've still got kiddies' bits and pieces in there, just a family car probably, innocent people, and stolen away from them. And there's a result, chopped up, sold on bits and pieces.
But while car theft across the UK is rife, Dr. Ken German, who worked in the Metropolitan Police Stolen Vehicle Squad, knows some strategies to fight back.
I think advice nowadays for anybody trying to hang on to their car is that you've got to be innovative. We know really we should put a crook lock on nowadays. Park perhaps an inferior car in front of it. Park it sideways. So you need some sort of barrier, you know, a locked gate, perhaps one of these bars that come from the, that's locked in the centre of the driveway. But what you've got to do is make every effort to stop them just driving it away, because you hear a bleep, you see a flash, and the car is gone.
In the chop shop, it's too late for these owners. Linking the small car parts to the thefts will take detailed investigative work.
So what happens next now?
So we've obviously executed the warrants, and then we withdraw. Forensics come in, find out who's been using the premises via clothing and other just for fingerprints inside the stolen vehicles. Then from there, the stolen vehicle squad will come and take the engines away, take the vehicles away, and then we'll go and do a search after that.
So it's just deep searches now for
Yeah.
each department to get what evidence and information they can?
Yeah.
The team will work into the night, tying up all the evidence and connecting the dots, while we go back to the station to build a case against the suspects.
What a successful day. We found a location with all the lockups, all the stolen vehicles. That's being dealt with now, and that will lead to more arrests. Overall, a great success. Taking down organised crime groups takes patience. Just like complex military operations, things don't just happen overnight. But hopefully, the results are worth waiting for. In the military, dogs have been used since World War I, and still a permanent feature today. In the SAS, we also use dogs, and they're celebrated for their bravery and their courage. And that's why I don't go anywhere without my bulldog, Alfie.
It's Saturday afternoon here in Chester, in the northwest of England. And at Chester Police Station, there's a very special operative that's about to start his shift. Detective Fido is ready to start a community resolution operation. His nose is as precise as any piece of kit in the military. But Detective Fido isn't working alone. At Chester Police, the team are being briefed about their part in today's operation.
Operation Luna is to support Chester West and Chester coordinated multi-agency response to tackle ASB, public disorder, drug use and crime in the city centre.
Sergeant Dean Hugh is running the op with his local team, but they also have some K9 support.
Okay, so today there's going to be 2 civilian drugs dog handlers out with patrols. Body scanning drugs dogs work by scanning the air around people to identify anyone that's been in contact with a controlled drug. Passive alert detection dogs are trained to indicate on a range of currently known controlled substances, even in very small quantities. Okay, thank you very much.
The team want to drive drugs out of the town centre, but their approach isn't about kicking in doors and making arrests.
If we stop someone and it's a first-time offence and they've got a very small amount of drugs on them, or they commit a very low-level offence, as opposed to putting people through the criminal justice system, there's something we can look at called a community resolution. As opposed to arresting them and bringing them into custody and looking through the court system, we would consider a referral to a drug support agency, and it's a way to sort of get them to engage as opposed to having something documented on PNC. It's sort of a less intrusive way to deal with things, really.
Now that the whole team are assembled, Detective Fido puts his snout scanner to work.
Have you been stopped by the police before? Do you have any drugs or any paraphernalia on you at the moment? Not that you know of.
On active operations, I learned that sometimes talking to someone on the level is more effective than a tough approach.
Hey mate, you okay?
Yeah.
Just come have a little step over here with me. All right, my colleague's going to be here in a second. Then there's 2 of us, okay?
Yeah.
The person here has no record of drugs, so the police use the option of a softer approach.
I can't tell you how to live your life. We can't do that, can we? But what we can tell you is that if you get caught with drugs and you get arrested, then it's a different path, isn't it?
We do something similar to community resolutions in the army. We call it hearts and minds. Winning people over with a chat and not alienating them, it's part of every conflict I've been involved in.
Okay. All right. Not a lot, is it?
No, it's not a lot to panic about.
No, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, eh? So this mail is going to be issued with what we talked about, a community resolution. It's eligible for one, it's a small amount of drugs. He's going to be referred through to drug support services, and I've talked to him about engaging with them. So it's a locally recorded outcome, so if he gets caught with drugs again, he doesn't get a second chance. But it's also a lower level outcome, so we're not going to be arresting this male, he's not going anywhere. He'll sign the documentation, we'll do the referral, and then it's done. They're going all right, the dogs they're indicating on quite a number of people. I believe this is the first positive one that I've seen. I'll have to have a check over there, but I think we're doing okay.
By the end of the evening, police have given multiple community resolutions. to people who haven't been stopped before. The team on the ground think it's time well spent.
Have a good night, guys. Ta-da then. So on the whole, it's been a pretty successful evening. What's been really good is us being out here, being present, talking to people, engaging with people, telling them why we're here. Just makes people feel better. You can't measure reassurance, but I'm sure we've done a lot tonight.
When there's a serious problem that needs to be solved, it sometimes takes someone marching to a different beat to stand up and fight back.
Over 1 million incidents of fly tipping are reported every year, and 3/4 of that is household waste. Homeowners themselves or dodgy waste removal companies who don't want to pay to dispose of items legitimately. But sometimes there are even more sinister cases. Environment manager Ben Hocking had a tip-off in Huddersfield 2 years ago. Unusual activity at a scrapyard.
It came to our attention that a large amount of waste was deposited here over a very short period of time. There were a lot of big vehicle movements. We're talking about very large vehicles here, so HGVs, and waste was deposited over just a couple of weeks. 4,500 tonnes of waste, which is a very significant amount, and that was waste that wasn't permitted to be on this site.
4,500 tonnes. That's the equivalent weight of around 600 elephants. This was illegal fly tipping on a gigantic scale. The investigation into the perpetrators is still going on. But whoever did this had a clear MO: to save themselves hundreds of thousands of pounds by dumping their waste here. And the environmental impact of doing this was even more costly.
It's really important that waste only goes to a site which is permitted to accept it, so they prevent pollution from getting off that site, escaping into a nearby river or watercourse. So you can see here we're just next to the canal, but we've also got the River Colne on this side of the site as well. And when people deal with waste in a legal way, they're really not interested in all those controls, and there can be really significant risks to pollution of the environment.
But one family saw the mess left here and decided to put themselves on the front line. Melrose Metals took possession of the land 2 years ago. Run by site manager Caleb Watson, his dad and siblings, they set up a scrap metal recycling business.
If you can see that pile there, it were a level load all the way to the gate. No one in the right mind would take on what was left here. No, nobody. And my dad stuck his neck out. He says, yeah, he says, this is what I'll do. We'll clean it up, and hopefully in generations to come, your kids will look back at a photo and say, that's the man who started it.
But saving the environment doesn't come cheap. The family invested in the site to recoup the costs long-term through recycling.
So we estimate the cost to be between £350,000 to £400,000 by the time we've got rid of this last bit here. What happens to it is it gets loaded onto a lorry, and then it goes to a place, EFR in Bradford. They'll sort through it and treat it, and then it'll go off to its representative place. So plastic to plastic place, wood to wood yard, and they try to keep as less as they can to landfill.
With another clearance lorry expected today, Ben has come to the site for reconnaissance.
Rory, nice to know you. Pleasure, hi. So I've just come along today to see how you're getting on.
Yeah, steady, it's okay. Obviously we got the site 2 years ago and we've been in the process since of getting rid of the waste, and we are more or less to the back of it now. So yeah, things are going very well, thank you.
What's the plan for getting rid of some of the waste today then, guys?
So a lorry of ours will be coming in 15 minutes. We'll get the machine down, back the wagon up to it, and I'll load the waste onto it, and then it'll be going to a waste transfer station.
Great. From talking to the guys who are running the site now, it's probably going to be another 3 or 4 months before they get properly to the back of the site and have all the waste cleared. But in the scheme of things, that's a really fantastic result, and the immediate impact that waste presents to the environment will have been tackled.
And Caleb and his family are determined to see this clearance operation right through to the end.
We get posts from local community about what's going on now. Around and we'll explain how it's got into this situation and what we're doing to clear it off aside to make Huddersfield, Milnes Bridge area a better area to live and the community around here. As you can see, we're in a valley, so everybody looks down onto here and we want them to smile and not frown.
I've spent long periods of time in hostile environments. And over that period of time, you build a third-party awareness, a sixth sense. The abnormal stands out in what is now a normal environment. Remember, the enemy can often be found hiding in plain sight. I'm in London to meet a specialist investigator from Trading Standards. He's got an operation plan and wants to meet me a few miles away from the target area here in North London. Trading Standards suspect that some shops may be selling dangerous banned products and they want to gather intel to build a case. Dave Hunt is a local Trading Standards officer who uses covert tactics just like the SAS to find out what's really being sold.
Nice to meet you, Paul. How are you doing? So what you got for us, mate?
Right, so what we'll be looking at is illegal vapes. These products are all oversized. They all have more than 2 mil of e-liquid in them.
To be legal in the UK, vapes cannot have a capacity of more than 2 mils of liquid and a nicotine strength of no more than 20 milligrams per mil.
Tell you what I noticed straight away is, that looks to me like it's like a kiddie's product.
Yeah.
Almost like targeting kids, is that right?
That is Squid Games, so that's very much targeting at young people, children.
I'm guessing with these, mate, just like cigarettes, these do a lot of damage to you. What sort of things are they actually doing?
Yeah, so nicotine is highly addictive.
Yeah, of course.
It's the addictive part of cigarettes. We've got young kids who literally are trying to get out of class to vape, or even vaping in class. And the other thing is there's reports coming out now that nicotine will actually affect kids' ability to learn.
So where are they coming from? Where are they getting this stuff from?
So it's been imported illegally from South Asia, China, Thailand, Malaysia.
I've been deployed all over the world to hundreds of countries dealing with conflict and problems. If there's one thing I've learned as a soldier, it's to trace the problem back to the source. This will help you overcome the enemy. Like the majority of contraband making its way onto our streets from overseas, illegal vapes are smuggled via shipping routes before landing at one of the UK's many ports. The operation starts here, where Trading Standards in Kent have wider intel that a whole shipment of dangerous products is destined to hit the UK streets.
Today the team are down here because we've received a consignment of goods that have come in through one of the cross-channel routes that we've got in Kent, and we're inspecting vapes. So I think at the moment the team are looking at 9 pallets that we've got. They've been identified to us by UK Border Force, and there's a legal gateway that when there's illegal goods that meet a safety issue, they then get passed through to Trading Standards. Normally you'd see a pallet and it's completely square and uniform. The pallets that we're looking at today aren't. And we also know that from some of the paperwork that we've got, that actually the destination that it's going to isn't genuine. I mean, that's pretty normal when you're smuggling goods. You don't tell people where they're going to end up.
This is one pallet load out of the 3 that have come in for this particular consignment. So we're just starting to open up some of the boxes and have a look, see what we've got in them. Some of the illegal products we deal with, they very much present themselves as an otherwise legitimate product in the sense that they'll have all the labelling correct.
They may look like legal vapes, but are these vapes actually harbouring dangerous volumes of liquid and nicotine?
I've had an initial look at the packaging. You can see it's calling itself a 4,000 puff product, and on the side it's saying 10 mil.
So UK limit for vapes is 2 millilitres, so we're already 5 times over the legal limit. So automatically we know we've got an illegal product that we're dealing with here.
So, stopped at source. Classic SAS disruption. Use the intel and disrupt the supply chain.
If the law's been set at 2 mil and you've got something 10, 15, 20 mil, that's obviously going to do you a lot more harm and be a much greater risk for the end consumer than one that's set by the legal standard. Through work with the ports team, we've stopped just over 800,000 illegal vapes coming into the country.
So, this is a massive problem. In the last 12 months, more than 4.5 million vapes were seized at UK borders. And inevitably, these dangerous products are slipping through the net and onto Britain's high streets. And it's only through boots on the ground, covert operations, that we can find out who's selling them, and this is where I can help.
Oh, they sold sort of on every high street?
There's a problem across the country with these products being sold. It's a big issue now for trading standards.
And what about all these illegal chemicals and stuff like that in there? Yeah.
When there was testing done on that one, they were finding heavy metals coming out in the vape.
So that's gone into people's lungs?
That's gone into people's lungs and they've been absorbed into their bloodstream.
I mean, obviously it's illegal selling this, but I mean, I would say the biggest problem with that is you don't know what's in it.
No, that's correct.
You know, you're going to end up killing somebody with this stuff. So that literally is a lethal weapon. It's a mini hand grenade.
It's only now dawning on me just how serious these illegal products are. I'm keen to find out what tactics they use to find who's selling this contraband.
Where do you get intelligence on this?
So, we've got intelligence from previous test purchases and previous fines.
Right.
If we can have a test purchase before a seizure, it gives us more grounds.
A test buy is when trading standards send in a decoy buyer asking for illegal products to see if the shop will take the bait. We call this a dummy in the SES, and it's widely used to infiltrate enemy forces. And Dave's got a job for me.
That final bit of the jigsaw, the final nail in the coffin, is a test buy.
Yes.
So if I go do a test buy, we prove it, then that's...
Yeah. If you get a test buy from the shop here, then we will go to that shop to do a visit.
Right.
I have my marching orders. Find a shop selling illegal vapes and buy some. How hard can it be?
People go into the shops, they're looking for a vape, say that size, 7,000 puffs.
Yeah.
That's 10 times the volume of a legal product.
Wow. Okay, I'll go check out a couple of these stores around here.
Okay.
Happy with that?
Yeah, happy.
Let's do it.
Time for some SAS-style reconnaissance. I'm calm and casual. Don't want to attract any attention, as I look for any sign that a shopkeeper might have something to hide. Whilst I reckon the streets to work out where I'm going to execute my test buy, a different kind of test is being carried out in Kent. The vape seized at the port by trading standards made their way to a research lab where a team of scientists will determine just how dangerous these products are.
So this is a vape sample that came from trading standards and they want us to test for nicotine. So we are going to analyze the sample and see what level we are finding. So I've got the nicotine sample over here. I'm going to dismantle the body of the vape. This is where the nicotine should be. And this is the liquid we are going to test.
With military precision, the science doesn't lie, and it's important these vapes are properly tested to back up the case with solid evidence.
The UK limit for disposable nicotine samples is 2 mils, and I can see clearly this is more than 2 mils.
Nicotine is a poison, so the 2% limit is designed to limit the danger that the nicotine vape as a liquid can present to people. Anything more than that and the access to that kind of liquid stands more and more risk of causing nicotine poisoning, which is highly toxic and can be fatal.
It may be visible to the human eye, but it's also got to be checked by high-performance liquid chromatography, a cutting-edge technique for quantifying components of liquid samples.
So we're waiting for the nicotine peak, and I can see here the nicotine is present. So based on the volume we found, and the fact that nicotine is present in the sample, this is an illegal vape.
Back on the streets, my mission is to try and find these vapes. And on advice from Dave at Trading Standards, I'm looking for the type of shop that might be selling this contraband.
Okay, so I've got a potential target down there. So what I'm going to do now is going to go in and see if we can do a test buy. So I'll just go on as a normal punter. Let's see what we come out with. Normal punter, stand by. Got any decent vapes, mate? Any decent vapes?
I've been involved in countless covert operations with the SAS, but impersonating someone looking to buy illegal vapes is a first for me.
Is that the strongest one you got?
They're all same but different flavors.
The pressure's on to see if I can bring Dave from Trading Standards the evidence he needs. I'm making a test buy, and the outcome wasn't what I was expecting.
Okay, mate, so I went in there, he was very edgy straight away. As soon as I walked in, he was like almost following me around the shop.
Right, okay.
So I grabbed a few things. I asked him about the vapes. I said, you got anything cheap? He goes, well, that's the cheapest I got. I goes, you got anything better? He goes, they're the best I've got. It's all right, so I bought the one that I've got here. You could just see there was suspicion all around him. He was like on very on edge. As soon as I walked in there, as soon as I looked around, he was speaking to somebody in the shop. They both sort of clocked me and then he followed me around. So I think he's expecting some. Yeah, on edge, a bit suspicious.
So I'm going to go and do a visit.
All right, let's do it.
Dave from Trading Standards thinks we should go in and confront the shopkeeper.
That's the guy there, that's the guy there. He's legging it into the shop. You need to move quick, look. You need to move quick.
Right now, my instincts are saying the bloke I spoke to has something to hide. Call it SAS training or intuition. Even though he didn't sell me a stronger vape, something didn't sit right.
Dave Hunt from Hackney Trading Standards. Right, is there anything you want to tell me now that you shouldn't have here?
No.
No?
So basically what's going to happen now is the guys will go in and do a search of anything that has not already been put on display, just to make sure that everything is above board and legal.
And something under the counter has already caught Dave's eye.
So these are illegal. So these have got more than 2 mil nicotine liquid in them.
Yeah.
They're oversized.
Rather was.
Why are they under the counter in the shop? Why are they on business premises?
So basically I asked exactly what they got, if they got anything stronger, anything different, and all I got shown was exactly what was on the shelf. And these are actually underneath the shelf, which to me stinks. I'll come in, as you do, as a normal punter. I could have been anybody. I did ask. I think there was a level of suspicion immediately. I didn't feel comfortable in it. I thought there was something not right. The amount of time I spent in conflict and in bad places, in war zones, I've got a sixth sense. And that sixth sense told me something was not right in this shop. That sixth sense paid off. There you go. Underneath the counter, not even on display. And I did ask. How's it going over there, Dave?
Right, so the products in here at the moment are legal, but we'll carry on looking around the shop. We've obviously found some illegal products here, and we need to check to make sure there's nothing else illegal in the premises.
It's great to know that people like Dave are rooting out these types of illegal products off the streets, especially as they're being sold to young people. With the seized and dangerous vapes, I'm keen to know what the man selling them thinks he's doing. Up until now, he's remained silent, but it's time for a deeper interrogation.
Yeah. Why didn't you tell me you had these? Huh?
You don't sell them.
But why have you got them? You know they're illegal.
That's what my brother is smoke.
What, you're trying to kill your brother, are you? I mean, they're deadly. And you know that. I asked you what you had, and you denied it. I asked you if you had anything else, and you said you didn't. I didn't ask you if you were selling them, I asked you if you had anything stronger. And obviously you did. And you probably do sell them. That's the truth, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're proud of that. Kids walking around the streets with these, and you know very well it's illegal. Right? Correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I am correct.
Right, you shouldn't have these on your business premises. I've been getting intelligence that you've been selling to young people, so we will be doing checks, okay?
never good result. But he was written all over his face. From the moment I went in there, he was acting all suspicious. He was banged to rights, absolutely banged to rights. And he admitted it as well. He knew exactly what he was doing.
This is a classic example of how solid intel, face-to-face reconnaissance, plus using your instincts, led to a successful strike.
You know what? If nothing else, we're getting some of that crap off the streets. To the naked eye, the shopkeeper and all his products looked above board. But his demeanour and actions and my sixth sense told me something was not right. Now he has to face the consequences.